So we were doing with the second chapter, and we have seen how USSR came into existence. The last day when we have class, we had a class with you. I had a class with you, and it was on Friday, I suppose. Yes, and I told you that I have started with the second chapter as it is written on the board, end of bipolarity. End of bipolarity means here you will find that immediately during the Cold War period, excuse me please, during the Cold War period, you know, that is from 1945 to 1991, one development took place, and what was that? That the whole world was divided into two poles. One was USA and one was USSR. Now, USSR as a power bloc, it came to existence, as I have told you the other day, that it came to existence in the year 1917 after the socialist revolution in Russia. Although you know its USSR grew up, or it came into existence as a huge power, but unfortunately you will find that USSR, you know, it started disintegrating by 1990, and it completely came to an end by the year 1991. Now we will see some of the causes of, you know, for the disintegration of USSR. Why the USSR disintegrated? Now we will discuss for some reasons behind its disintegration. You know, it was not only that USSR was disintegrating; it was actually a big continent, a big power pole was actually disintegrating. It was collapsing, you know, and the main reason which was found, there were many reasons, you know, for the disintegration of USSR. First reason was its internal weakness. First reason was its internal weakness. The internal weakness of, you know, which was mainly political and economic, especially all the political and economic institutions of Soviet Union, you know, they failed to keep up to the expectations of the people. They did not, they could not match what the people of USSR actually thought of. Clear? There was economic stagnation. There was no development in the economic sector for many years, and the Soviet society, you know, people started having doubts with regard to the Soviet economy. So first of all, you see the internal weakness of Soviet Union. Internal weakness means the weakness of its political and economic institutions, which could not match the expectations of the people. The second was, you know, the too much of money. USSR, as I've told you the other day also this particular point, you know, USSR, you know, it had used much of its resources. Second point is the second point was that, you know, in its competition to join with USA, you know, it has used all its resources for what? For establishing its military and nuclear bases, especially in the Eastern European countries. In its fear, you know, USSR had a particular concept that an open war could take place with USA. So in its mad race for a war with USA, USSR, what did it do? You know, it had used all its resources, whatever resources USSR had, it had used all its resources for establishing military and nuclear arm bases, especially in the Eastern European countries. Thirdly, you know, the Communist Party government, or the Communist Party which had formed the government in USSR, which was the dominant party of USSR, you know, it was not at all accountable. There was no transparency in the government. What the government did, there was no transparency. The people did not know, you know, what was going on within the administration. It was not accountable to the people, you know. Ordinary people, they did not know what was going on within the country, and especially, you know, the leaders, the major personalities within the Communist Party, it had dominated the administrative system of USSR. So the common people was completely in the dark side. They knew nothing about what was going on within the country. Fourth was, I don't know whether it is visible or not. Fourth was Gorbachev's policy. You know, Gorbachev in its after he became the leader of the General Secretary of the Communist Party of USSR, what did it do? You know, it wanted to bring about changes within the administrative pattern of USSR from a authoritarian socialist economy. He wanted to convert it into a democratic capitalist economy of America. When he, although, you know, the administrative system, the economy, which had been thoroughly socialist in nature, you know, Gorbachev, what did he do? He wanted to bring about reforms within the administration, and these reforms he wanted to bring about how? By changing the socialist economy into a capitalist economy. Now, when Gorbachev started implementing this policy, that policy of introducing capitalism in India, there were some groups, they said that the reforms which Gorbachev had thought of were introduced very slowly, and as it was introduced very slowly, so it could not match up with the situations in the country. Whereas the leaders of the Communist Party, the main, apart from Gorbachev, whoever were there, Communist Party, they felt that Gorbachev was too fast in implementing the socialist structure and bringing about a bringing about a capitalist model in USSR. So what happened, you know, the people of USSR, they were not satisfied with the methods which were used by USSR. They started comparing themselves with the Western countries, and when they started comparing with the Western countries, you know, they were dissatisfied. They were dissatisfied. Why? Because they thought that the countries of West, they were so flourishing, the administration was so nice, So these people, they started losing faith in the administrative system of USSR. So one by one you will find that the countries, especially the countries of Eastern Europe, they started disintegrating, they started claiming their independence, they started demanding their independence, and one by one many of the, especially from Eastern European countries, they started disintegrating. The Eastern European countries, they asserted their independence and they formed one group, and the name of that group was the Commonwealth of Independent States, CIS, and some others also, they started disintegrating one by one. So the USSR, which emerged as a big center of power in the early 19th century, by the 1990s you will find that it had started, in 1990s it has started disintegrating, and by 1991 the Communist Party has completely disintegrated. Now we will see the consequences. What were the results of this disintegration? This is given completely point wise in your book. You see, first of all, after USSR disintegrated, the first major thing which happened was, can you guess, anybody, what can be the major thing which had happened after USSR disintegrated? Can you guess what could have happened after USSR disintegrated? Anybody of you? The first consequence of disintegration was that the Cold War had come to an end. Yes, very good, Sanjeevani. The first consequence or the first result of the disintegration of USSR was that the Cold War has come to an end. So the two power poles which were formed after 1945, by 1945 it was one power pole disintegrated, and the second point is that there was a change in power relations. And the second consequence, change of power relations, means the world has now come up to be a unipolar world. Clear? It developed into a, previously it was a bipolar world, and now it had emerged into a unipolar world. There was a change in the power relations. All those Eastern European countries, those who were, especially the European countries, those who were united with the power bloc, with USA, they now wanted to become a part of the Western Alliance. Many of the countries, and together with that, it was not only that they wanted to join the Western Power Alliance, many other power centers were having its birth. A multipolarity instead of unipolarity, you will find that many other institutions of power had started growing up or started developing. So there was a change in the power relations, and also the relative influence of ideas and institutions have also changed. And the third was that many new, and the end of the Soviet bloc meant that many new countries were emerging, and all these countries had their own independent aspirations and choices. So all those who were united to form USSR now had become independent, and during that time you can find that many new countries have come up. Clear? So these are the three consequences or results of disintegration of USSR. So any questions from causes and consequences of disintegration? If you have, you can ask me. Now today in very short I will explain you what is the shock therapy. See, this was an additional blow. This was an additional blow to USSR. What had happened? When the USSR had collapsed or was at the verge of collapsing, you know, under Mikhail Gorbachev, there was USSR actually was a follower of what? It was a follower of socialism. And Gorbachev came up with his policies of reform in the administration, and what was that? You know, it was a transition from a socialist economic system to a capitalist socialist system. It was actually a change or transition into a capitalist system. And so after this system was imposed, after the shock therapy was imposed, you know, all the industries which were under the state, that means under the government, they were being sold, they were being auctioned to the industrialists or the capitalists of all those small and medium range industrialist groups at a very, very low price. You know, all the government sector industries which had for long time been under the influence of socialism or under the influence or under the control of the government after the imposition of the shock therapy, these all industries had to be given over to the capitalist sector. So all the important industries of USSR now were being sold or given away at bare minimum prices to the big industrialists. And as a result of this, you know, there was a huge blow to the economy of USSR. Not only that, you will study it in the consequences of shock therapy, that there is one particular incident which is known as the largest garage sale. In this, what happened, you know, what is known as the largest garage sale in USSR, it was that all the industries which were once upon a time under the control of the public sector, that is under the government, were all being sold at bare minimum prices to all the local industrialists of that particular area. And this particular incident, you know, it was known to be the largest garage sale of USSR. So let it be up till here today. Next day I will start with the consequences of disintegration.